Over here?
Right.
That's why.
Okay, thank you.
If you stand over here, you're in camera and
Awesome.
out of the light.
Okay. So I did a customer service and relations guide to Brogy's Tavern. A helpful guide for customer body language, facial expressions, and common guest complaints with solutions. So my 3 common facial expressions I did. My first one was disgust. This often occurs when a customer finds something in their food or dislikes the taste. Number 2, shock or bored. So shock when a customer sees something in the tavern happening or notice something wrong. And bored. Many customers come to the tavern after a long day on the mountains. If their food or service takes too long, they may be bored or sleepy, so always make sure that they're occupied. And number 3, frustration or I give up. This happens when a customer is not happy with their service or their meal. Can I go through all of them?
Yeah.
Okay. For body language, confused. Did you explain something fully for your customer? Make sure that your customer always understands. Amazed, but I also realized that this look could also be anger, so use with caution. Of course, we always want our customers to be amazed in a good way, but however, it could also be anger. Notice how her hands are going to be on her hips. She's not too happy with her service. And last but not least, happy and content. This is what we want to see with our customers. So for resolving problems, oh no, need help, remember your AAA. Apologize, acknowledge, and act. And then I have quotes with what you can say to hit on each point. And helpful things, tips to remember, talk in exact time, do not avoid the guest, no excuses, do not blame anyone, and always remember that the guest is not always right, but they are our guest. And my examples, my first one, I found hair in my pasta. My solution was remove the plate, put it behind your back, and acknowledge the hair and ask if the guest would like a new dish or something different. Number 2, these kids are annoying me. Apologize and let the guests know that you'd be happy to seat them somewhere else in a more quiet area. And my last one, I just saw an employee sneeze in their hands and touch silverware. Let the customer know that it will be taken care of and that you're very sorry that they had to see that. Remove the silverware and make sure that you make the employee aware of what happened. So that is Brogy's Tavern.
Nice job, huh? Don't go away. Don't go away. Okay, let's talk about it. What'd you like about it? What was different about hers than yours?
Hers is very detailed and in-depth of what to do and what everything means.
She put a lot of solutions in there, right? A lot of advice, which was with great tips along the way. She's got her own, she's designed it for her own little tavern. She's got up in New Hampshire, she even has a street address
Yep,
on it, so
it's
if we want to go visit, we
White Mountain
can.
Highway.
Very creative. You used a lot of good pictures and you used a lot of familiar ones that we had from class, so it was easy. Nice job.
Thank you.
Good job. Delaney, what's your voting number?
It
It's like
is
American Idol.
850601.
All right. Who would like to be next? Nicole, come on up.
Okay. All right, so my training manual was how to stop this and get to this. Customer service training manual for employees at Bowden Seek Food Industries. So I started with facial expressions to watch for, and we have bored, disgusted, angry, and happy, and like small description of each. For bored, you're yawning, unengaged, maybe you look tired, something you'd want to be aware of with your customers. If they're angry, they're probably a little red-faced, very tense. Those are things visually you can see. Disgusted, I just wrote ew. Disgusted is one of those facial expressions that you can just see it, and you know exactly what it looks like. And then happy, you're kind of wide-eyed, you're smiling, you're more relaxed, and you look like you're enjoying yourself. Then we moved into body language. Our first pose was confidence. So we noted that the person in the photo is steepling their fingers, which is a very confident position. They're also standing very tall with good posture, so they're kind of making themselves larger than other people to show that they have a little bit more power there. The next one is nervous or scared. Unlike a happy wide-eyed person, this one's going to be a little bit more wide with raised eyebrows. They're probably going to have their arms crossed, and they're going to make themselves a little bit smaller to kind of take away from any attention that could be on them. And then the last one is happy and relaxed. It's going to be a lot of laughing and smiling. People are going to, lean into each other, be closer. And then we went to steps to resolving customer complaints. So on our side here, it's got cut off a little bit. We have our AAA, which is apologize, acknowledge, and act. And it just labels the steps right there for you. And then our our guest complaints and solutions. So the first one is your guest has spilled a drink at the table with very little consumed. They do not want another drink, and the rest they don't want another drink the rest of the evening, but they seem unhappy. And you find out that the server took 10 minutes to address the spill. So what do? Well, you would introduce yourself to the table. You would apologize for the lack of service, and you would acknowledge the incident that occurred and offer another time a free drink. Or ask if there would be something more suitable to resolve the problem. The next problem is a guest has complained about an overcooked steak and has promptly asked for a new one. So what do? Again, you'd introduce yourself to the guest. You'd apologize for the steak and acknowledge it as being overcooked. Since the customer has already asked for a new steak, you would clear their plate from them and tell them that it takes X amount of minutes for the steak to be cooked to the degree that they'd want it to be. And then ask again if there would be anything else that you could do to resolve the issue. And then the last problem is a server on your team has not been taking care of their tables to the usual level of the restaurant standards. So what would you do? You would privately pull your server aside away from other staff and guests and ask them if they were all right and if they needed anything. After your discussion, if this does not help, you would assess how busy the restaurant was and make the decision to either send your server home and divvy up their tables to your other servers, or possibly try taking over some tables yourself to help.
Nice job. Very good. So, what do you like about Nicole? Somebody tell me something that they liked about it.
It was very clear, especially in the complaint, where she had a lot of different resolutions in there, and
She really went through the step-by-step resolution, right? We talked about making sure that you apologize, you acknowledge the problem, and then you did what the magic thing, which is,
Asking what else can I do for you?
yeah, what can I do to make this right for you? And every time she ended with the resolution, because a guest complaint is never over until it's been resolved, right? That's the goal. With all this stuff that we've been talking about and all these complaint resolutions, if the customer feels it's resolved, it's resolved. Not when you feel it's resolved, but when the guest feels it is. Okay? Nice job, thank you. Who would like to be next? Sylvie? Sylvie has lots of animals in hers. She likes her dogs and cats.
This is my customer service guide. My facial expressions, I have disgusted, worried, and excitement. Disgusted customer can be discussed by the employees or other customers from other tables. Worried, when employees made some mistakes, this is like their face expressions. And this is what you want to see from every customer, the excitement, how delicious the food was, how great the customer service was. Body language, I have a power pose, it's like a pride. Maybe you want to practice before you go serve. And I have little cat wants to go to the restroom, so if customer shows body language like this, you should take them to the restroom, show them where they are.
That's an interesting take. I've never quite seen that in a
And
training manual,
so-
but it's probably important at some point.
This pose is from customer, excuse me, if they're not happy about it, if they are showing this kind of body language, you should find a way to make them happy. So, steps to resolving customer complaints: AAA, apologize, acknowledge, and act. And guest complaint samples. I have first one, my coffee is not hot enough. I'll say I apologize, it will take me just a minute to remake it for you. The second one, there's a hair in my food. I will first apologize and I'm sorry, and since they lost their appetite, I'll say, what can I do to make this right? Because they don't want to eat that food again. And the last one, I've been waiting a long time for my food. I will say, I apologize, I checked with my chef, and it will take like 7 more minutes. Usually you should say, if it takes 5 minutes, you should say maybe like 7 more minutes or 8 more minutes, and then bring it like as fast as you can. It's better if you.
This room scares the daylights out of me, I'm sorry.
If you said 5 more minutes and it takes 6 minutes, they will get mad. So say like give them enough time and then bring it as soon as possible. And so it will take like 7 more minutes. It was my fault. I put the order in late. Would you like to have something else in the meantime? And then check if they want some like drinks or appetizers first while they waiting.
Right, good job. Nice job. So what did you do on the last complaint that we haven't really talked about or seen before? What did she say?
Kind of boost up the time. Always talk in terms of exact time, but you always make it seem like it was faster than what you
Yep, so we talked about that, right? She got that concept of under promise and over deliver, but she did something else.
She offered them something else in the meantime,
Right.
so that while they were waiting, it didn't feel like they were waiting.
What did she do before that? You remember? She said,
It was my fault.
it's my fault, right? Very important for you to admit to a guest when you make a mistake, whether you're the server, the manager, whatever. It will go so much farther if you say, I'm sorry, I was late putting the order in, or I forgot to put the order in on time, or I forgot to put your dinner order in after your appetizers. The guest is looking to blame someone, and they don't want you to blame anybody, so let them blame you, right? If it's your fault, especially, never lie to a guest. Oh, well, the kitchen's backed up, because that's what?
Pushing the blame.
An excuse, right? We don't want to use excuses, pushing the blame on somebody else. Admit it, it's your fault. Be honest with the guest. It will serve you so much better in the long run, because you're not going to have to feel self-conscious of, oh, I told them that it was, this, and it's not. Just be honest. They may not be happy about it, but they'll appreciate the fact that at least you're honest with them, right? Nice job, Sylvie. Thank you. Ooh, all right. We have probably time for like quickly, maybe not run through every incident. Anna, why don't you come up? We've got about